P. So I'm not surprised that no one is here yet because we just started, and usually I give a 2-minute warning. But I'm going to start working with LLNP on what we're going to be doing and some ideas of how we can make this work. And so we want to try to help you with time management, especially in a 10-3 game, prepping you for the qualifiers tournament. By the way, Flavio says hello. He is streaming right now some Photoshop work he's doing, and he agrees. He says, "Oh, you're going to give him a lesson? I hope it's on time management." He says he had me beat. He should have beat me, but he ran out of time. And so we're going to work on time with you. And what I want to do is challenge you to a game. And I see you're online now. Excellent. So I'm going to challenge you to a game. And of course, it'll be unrated. But of course, it's going to be real time. And instead of 10-3, the first thing I want to try to do for you is 5-3. And the reason I want to do 5-3 is I still want the 3-second increment so you do get solidly feeling, you know what a 3-second increment feels like. Okay? But we're going to play 5-3 because it's twice as fast. It's faster than your tournament at 7-3, and it's half the time that you get at the qualifier. So this is one technique. We make you play fast. Another technique is there's the Puzzle Storm option, the Puzzle Storm under Puzzles, and you get 3 minutes, and as you solve puzzles, you might get time back. But if you make a mistake, you lose time. And we just can see how well you do. And I believe the Puzzle Storm, you don't even pick the level, like easiest to easier to medium to hard or whatever. I think it's just whatever it is. Now, the bad news is I can't watch you play Puzzle Storm. I can't see it.
Can't?
No, I can watch you play games, but if you're doing a Puzzle Storm, I can't see you do the Puzzle Storm.
Unless
right?
I shared my screen.
Yeah, but then I'd have to figure out how to put in the shared screen and change our pictures and yeah.
Got it.
Maybe we can do that next time. I'll set up a new scene. You can even help me. We can even do it on the fly. We could even do it on the fly. So maybe we'll do that because I don't expect to have any viewers. So we could go ahead and build that screen together. You can help me build a screen for sharing screen via Zoom, because what will happen is your picture, my picture will get pushed off someplace else, and then the shared screen will be someplace else, and I have to pull in the shared screen portion into my view.
Too much information.
Okay. Okay. So I want to play a game. We're going to mix up. We're going to have the colors be just random. And that was my idea, that we'd walk you through, make you play a little bit faster. Now, so for the first game, I'm thinking maybe we'll start you off at 15 or even 10-3 instead of speeding it up on you, because that just puts pressure on you and you're already having trouble with playing fast. So talk through it with me. I'm thinking maybe we start you, this one is at 10-3 or even 15-3 so you have extra time. What do you think? You have those three options. We could do 15-3 just so we could talk about where you should not be spending time, and we'll try to go through it quickly still make you play fast, but then you won't lose the game on time. Or we could play 10-3, do the same thing, or we could do 5-3, do the same thing, and you see how fast you actually could play and play good.
I feel like starting at 5-3 would probably be better, only because when I was trying to get better at time management for my 30-minute tournament, I started playing 15-minute games. And when I wanted to get faster at my 15-minute games, I was playing 7-minute games.
Good.
So I feel like if I want to get better at 10-minute games, I should be playing 5-minute games.
And that I think that is a logical, normal thing to do. Okay. I wish I had a countdown clock on this app. I have one on the other studio. I use a 2-minute countdown, but we don't want 2 minutes. We want 5 or 10 seconds. 5 or 10 seconds. So what I think I'll do is I will just count down for you.
Okay, but you haven't invited me yet to a game yet, have you?
No, I'm about to. It's on my screen. If you're reviewing that. Hey, Sudakas, how you doing? Impromptu game. I'm trying to figure out how to teach somebody how to do better with time management and play faster. And my guinea pig is somebody who needs it more than anybody else, LLNP. So we're going to test out some theories on how to get him to play faster. What I find works, I will store away in my brain so that I can use it in the future. But right now, we're just going to see what works, see if it can work for him and actually help him. All right, so the challenge has been sent. You have to agree to it. All right. So game hasn't started yet, so there's no rush, right? And even in a tournament, I don't remember if you get 20 seconds or more for the 10 seconds. But for the first 10 moves, 8 to 10 moves, that's the opening. I expect you to move within 5 seconds or less. Why? Because you should know your basic opening principles, concepts, and maybe even an actual specific opening you like to play. So let's say for example, you play E4 and I play the French. And you shouldn't be, as soon as you see the French, pick one. I know you have played the advance. I know you've played with the knight to c3. I know you've played different variations. We can't waste 10, 20 seconds picking which variation to play because you're playing me this game and you think I might. No, we want to get right into it and not have that problem. Let's see if I can. Oh, look at that. Fix my screen. Super good. Okay, let me add the clock. Before we get started, before you say yay to the challenge. All right, the clock is ready to go. All right, so that way everybody can see and work with me. All right, we are playing a 5+3. It is casual. I'm not going to even try to win. I'm just going to try to watch you and make you play at a speed that would be conducive. You're allowed to take 10, 20, 30 seconds when it's a good reason. Hey, Flavio, look at my... Look, did you see it? Did you see the raid? Ha, ha, ha. Oh, you're not watching, so you don't know. Thanks, Flavio. You got to test the raid, and it works. That is awesome. That is awesome. Thank you. Flavio. Yes, I'm liking it. I'm liking the super... It's all Justice League theme. Or everything is Justice League theme. So I'm wearing the wrong shirt.
I was going to say, hang on. If it's Justice League, you can't be wearing Spider-Man. You got to change. You got to put on Superman or...
I don't think so.
I don't think you have a Wonder Woman shirt. You know, at least I don't remember ever seeing you wear a Wonder Woman shirt. But maybe your wife has a Wonder Woman. I bet your daughter has a Wonder Woman shirt for sure. No question in my mind for that.
Well, I'm asking for a Captain Marvel shirt for my birthday, but I didn't
nice.
find a good Wonder Woman shirt that I would wear. But here, okay, fine.
There we go.
All right. So let's get to work. So 5 seconds. I expect no more than 5 seconds. Take your time. Make good moves. It's a rhythm thing. We don't want to be rushing. We're not playing 2-minute chess. You don't have to get a heart attack. All right? But we do want to play a little quicker than you have been.
Perfect. And just to pick up on what you said, though, about making the moves quickly because I should know the openings, that there's a built-in suggestion there that I know the openings, right?
Or that you know, remember I said principles, concepts, or the openings.
Yes,
So what is our first 5 goals? I know you know them.
Yes. Develop.
King safety.
Protect the king.
Which is castling, or if the center's locked down, you might not castle. But normally castling. And the last one is controlling the center, which we're not going to worry about. So I want you to be able to develop all of your pieces with only using about 5 seconds each. You understand pins and doubling up on pins and piling up on pins. So you know you might need to put the question to the bishop early, those type of things. And even if you don't, we'll learn them and you'll get more used to it, right? All right. So the first 10 moves, though, I expect to be able to look up and say, we've got 10 moves. And if it's 3 plus 3, you definitely shouldn't have used more than 50 seconds or 1 minute. And for 10 moves, because with the plus 3, if you're averaging 5 seconds, you're easily going to be able to do this. All right, and I'm going to try to do the same right along with you, or it might take sometimes I might take a little more time, because if I'm taking time, you're thinking on my time. The reason that chess can be so stressful and so strenuous, you can lose weight playing chess, right? Because you're supposed to be thinking on my time and your time. You are so super focused.
Time out, time out. You can lose weight playing chess?
Oh, definitely.
I am going to play chess 24/7 for the next 3 months.
I don't think you'll lose it as fast as other things, but yes, you definitely can lose weight. Yes, definitely. All right, let's start, and we'll just play this one first. Not worrying about winning or losing. I'm not anyway. You can. So you got 5 seconds. Good. Oh, look at you playing something different. Okay, that shouldn't have even taken you that long, because if you're going to play d4 in response to e5, you should know exactly what you're going to do. Am I going to play the c3 pawn up and sack, right? Am I going to do a gambit, or am I going to take right away? That shouldn't have taken you even as long as it took you. Oh, pre-move. He pre-moved that. I think he pre-moved that. I think we had a pre-move sighting. That was the long think.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how not to give up.
Give up a pawn?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about it afterwards, but that was a long think.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the right times for the long think and the wrong times.
Yeah, that point.
Hey, Lycan. How's everybody doing in Chessland out there? Hope everyone's doing great. We're doing some learning here. Some learning about playing faster. You've slowed down immensely. Don't get frustrated. We're not trying to win or lose this game. We're working on speed.
Oh, that's what's more frustrating. The fact that you're not even trying to win.
Yeah, but you're using up way too much time. That's what I'm more concerned about, is how much time you're losing. All right, let's go to the analysis board. And we'll put this into a new study, I think. Yeah, let's create a new study. And we'll call this one time management, because we're trying to do something with time management. And I'm trying to, you're helping me learn this along with you. So hopefully don't get frustrated on me. This was your first.
It says that the study is private. I can't access it.
Yeah, I have to invite you. There, now you're invited. I didn't think you wanted the whole world to go out and look at your games.
No, they can
Okay.
just look at they can just replay what we just did.
Right, right. So that's why I did that. Okay, so let's look at this game real quick and see where you're spending your time. So the times are up there at the top. And let's see, I think I can make my board small enough so everybody can actually follow the times up there. Okay. So here you didn't take much time at all, right? Actually, you're at 5:01. You've gained time. I took, and you took, and you didn't lose any time. That was good. I thought you had spent too much time, but obviously you spent 3 seconds or, well, you must have spent 3 seconds exactly. 3 seconds is not bad. I'll live with 3 seconds for every move. Now, I spent time here because I was talking to you about it, right? Okay, so I develop, you develop, and now I hit you with this. So that obviously something new you didn't expect. So you spent, let's see how long you spent. You spent, wow. I'm sorry.
It's 5:02 before.
Yeah, so you spent 6 plus 2 is 8 plus 3 is 11 seconds. 11 seconds to find that bad move. But where do you go, right? So here's one choice. Now, the problem is that I could chase you away and I'm going to hit this pawn. Right? So, but if your bishop were here and I went there, you'd be threatening the same things. So this is where, after the game, you can look and say, okay, this was annoying and I burned some time. What could I have done differently? Right? This is where you'd analyze and say, did I have something better? And you figure it out, right? And is it that I shouldn't have done this because it's protected by everything? And I mean, it's a development square, but you know, with what you're playing, this wide open, type of play, you might want to be looking for having your bishop be a little bit more dynamic. But okay, so you found a move. It took you 8 seconds. I didn't have to take any time because I knew I had that, and I'm winning a pawn. That's all I'm winning. You chose to use the queen, which is good because otherwise you lose the rook, right? If you use the knight, if you use the bishop, you lose the rook. So you did the queen, so that way you don't lose anything. At this point, I didn't look. I can't move the queen away because of the absolute pin, so I didn't waste any time thinking. I just took. And then I said, I'm going to develop. And all I'm doing is, now I'm putting a little question to your bishop, and I'm developing. And now we get here. So here, and you didn't take, I know you weren't taking a lot of time here, so you took 6 seconds. Did you see that this was going to give you an isolated pawn?
Yes, but I also thought that it would open up a line for my rook to your king's position on the f file.
And it would. And it would. So you just have to, and this is again where you can analyze afterwards and say, which one, is it better to have the isolated pawn and have this semi-open file, or is it better maybe to come here and hit at this pawn that's not protected and make me kind of get crunched up a little bit and get your bishop out, but maybe to some place where maybe it's going to last longer, live longer. I mean, right now with these open lines, I would think you want to keep your bishops. So I wouldn't encourage a trade, especially when it does weaken your pawns, even if it gives you this semi-open file, because one, it's protected. Now, if my king hadn't castled and stuff, maybe, but it's already protected, and the pawn can push at some point. So there's a lot of ways to protect it. I probably would have preferred you go to here, not here, enticing this move and then back to here, but I like it there. Even here, just to keep the long diagonal, I'd probably want to keep your bishop. My bishop isn't developed yet. You're ahead in development. So you're taking your last piece that you developed and letting me take it for naught. But, okay. So I even get off that file. I like this, right? Because now you're going to play on these files. So I would expect a pawn storm to a degree. Maybe the knight helping you out, the bishop hitting here. Those are the kind of things I thought I'd see. By the way, do you see a trap? Do you see a trick or trap tactic right now?
Or who? For white?
For you, for white. And I'm not saying it works for sure, but does it even cross your mind? Okay, I was looking at knight takes.
I looked at that, but it just looks like knight takes back. Oh, yeah. But yeah, you went back to knight, but and your king's exposed. Okay.
Yeah. And you could decide if this is worth it to you or if it's not, right? I'd probably go here so that you'd lose the knight. You don't even lose the knight. You don't even lose the knight. Huh?
Aren't I down a piece? Or was I down a piece already?
Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't think you should be down a piece. Oh, because you sacked. Yeah, it's 2 sacks. The knight you sacked, and then you sacked the bishop to get back the knight. Yep. Okay, it doesn't work. But that's what I glanced at. I was like, ooh, can he take here? I take back. He takes here. He takes here. I take back. He gets to win my knight. Right? But yeah, you're down a piece, so you would say, nope, can't do it. But I was just asking if you looked at it. Because I did. I was thinking, ooh, he might have something.
When you just now said, do I see a tactic? That was the first thing I looked at.
Okay, good.
Knight takes pawn, knight takes back.
Right.
And then I said, I don't see how I come out ahead. So.
Okay, excellent then. That was fine. So you put the rook on an open file. That shouldn't have taken you too long, and you picked the right rook because this one would keep this one trapped unless you're going to pawn storm. Then you might want to pick the other one. So let's see how long you took for that move. So here you've been doing very good. You've been going 3 seconds on average. And this one took you a little longer. That move took you a little longer, but you're still within, well, I don't know if you...
I wanted to make sure that the knight was still protected, which both the bishop and the other knight are holding it.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make sure, and I didn't like having my rook behind on the same diagonal.
Okay. So these moves, again, you're at 4 minutes and 31 seconds in a 5-minute game, and we're on move 18. So excellent. You haven't even used up a minute, and you're on move 18. For you, this is awesome. Very good job. Here I saw that this was going to be free, and all of these were going to be under attack at the same time. So I traded. I didn't have to calculate. Let's see how long I took. And I'm not bragging. I am trying to actually see also how much time I take to see tactics, because I think that's the other one of them is that you think too long trying to find the best move. Hey, jobless. I think you're trying to find the best move sometimes, or a complicated winning move when you don't have the time to spend. And then the other thing I think might be not an issue, but something that could help you, is that it takes you too long to see some basic tactics. And so if we could get you better at basic tactics, that's where the puzzles will come in when we do the puzzle storm. I think that'll help. So I'm curious. For me, it took me 9 seconds. It took me 12 seconds because there's a 3-second increment. So it took me 12 seconds to decide to do that. And I think at the time I was toying with, I have no idea what else I would be toying with, because I might have thought about that, but I don't know what else I would have been toying with, because that's the only thing I see right now. So it took me 12 seconds. And the idea was that now I knew I would get those 3 items under attack, and I didn't see a way for you to protect them all. So that, right. So quickly you need to assess and say, okay, the rook's under attack, the knight's gonna attacking both of these. Even if you didn't see this, but if you did, that's fine.
Which I didn't. I didn't
notice this.
The pawn was hanging.
Right.
I
So
was worried about the rook and the pawn, and I knew if I moved the rook back to either advance it to f5 or back to f3, I knew as soon as you took the pawn, it would just be under attack again.
which may be okay, depending. So like this might have been okay because then you get to come here.
Yeah.
And because this loses this pawn. So then my knight would probably have to move, and then you could double up with a little bit more tempo, right? You're gaining tempo, which you did. I think you ended up doing that. But by going here, you protect this pawn. Now, granted, you didn't see that.
I did not recognize that was hanging.
And that is fine. I don't care that you didn't recognize that. By the way, also you could have went here, and then you'd have 2 attacking this pawn, which is actually what I think I was worried about at the time.
Yeah. See, I saw that. All I saw was advance to f5.
Was that you're going to be under attack.
just under attack again. I wasn't thinking about, well, what else could I do then after that?
Okay. So good. So, but you kind of froze up on this. Now, you didn't even see this one. So you were freezing up because you were like, I'm going to lose the pawn. Can I stop from losing the pawn?
Yes.
That question should be able to be answered very quickly, right? You should be able to look and say, it's either the rook or the pawn, and the rook isn't protecting the pawn, so I'm going to lose the pawn. That shouldn't take you any time. Now, the next
question was, where do I want to go next?
Yes.
Because again, when I started looking at the opportunities of what the choices were, I didn't like the choices. I was like, all right, F3, no, F5, no. So that left me with just F2, and so I think I eventually moved to F2.
Yeah, so you had this square, this square, this square, and this square. Because the rooks are easy, right? They don't have that many choices. They're straight line pieces. So what I want, thinking-wise, I want you to think, rook or pawn. Okay, I can't save the pawn. Now, forget about the pawn. It's lost. Forget the pawn. It's lost. You should be able to determine that in under 3 seconds that the pawn is lost. Now I want you to think about not where can I put the rook that is safe. You're about to lose the pawn. I want you to ignore the pawn and say, if I wasn't going to lose the pawn, where I want to put the rook. So stop thinking about, I think the fact that you were thinking about the pawn was gone, then it made you think about how can I put my rook someplace where it won't be under attack. And as we're seeing, you can counterattack. Why do you worry about your rook being under attack if you're going to take this pawn and win back a pawn? Or here, if you saw that this pawn was hanging, and then you could also try to get back and chase the knight. But this is much more dynamic. You're attacking the pawn. So even if I take this one, you can't take this one because you would take, and then you'd lose your knight. But you didn't even see this pawn anyway. So I'd say you could go there, right? That shouldn't have stopped you from going there. All right. So with all that in mind, what I want you to do is when you get where you're like, okay, I'm going to lose a piece, I'm going to lose the pawn, I'm going to lose the pawn, forget it totally and decide, now where would I put my rook? Even if I wasn't going to lose my pawn, where would I put the rook? Where do I want the rook? And you'd quickly say none of these squares are even open. And so you'd be down to these squares. And you just would have to decide which one you think is the most dynamic, not worrying about even that you'll be under attack, because hopefully you're going someplace that rook is going to have more chances to be aggressive and hurting your opponent. All right.
But that obviously also takes more time.
But not as much time as you took. Let's see how long you took. I think you took a lot of time on this move. Yeah, you took...
20...
Yeah, it lets you figure it
seconds.
out. You're smarter than me. How much time?
7:22 is 29 plus 3, 32 seconds.
Okay. So that felt like a really long time to me. I remember even telling you, you're taking a lot of time here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's see, because then I think after that, after this, when you lost this pawn and you didn't know it was going to be lost, I think you kind of tilted on your time. So let's see if I'm right, where you started taking a lot more time. So you went from 3:53 to 3:40, so that means you spent 16 seconds, right? Where before you were averaging under 3 to 5 seconds. And why here? I mean, one, it allows checks. It allows checks.
I remember.
And you're not attacking the rook.
No, I know. I think I thought about that later and said, oh, yeah, I should have gone there. I looked at it afterwards and said, oh, that would have been better. I would have put pressure on.
Okay, so the curiosity part for me is you got 13 seconds. This pawn is under attack. That's the...
Yeah,
But,
well, the first 3 seconds I spent trying to remember what the hell I just lost.
well, I think you...
It's like that pawn. It's like that pawn was invisible. I'm like, wait a second.
Okay, I think you can hit the back
What was
button.
that?
You can hit the back button during the game.
Oh, really?
Yes. You can see previous
tried
moves. You can see previous... I see people do it all the time. Because they're like, what was there? And they hit the back button. And they go, oh, it was a pawn. Okay, he took a pawn. Okay. Yeah, you can hit the back button.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was like, what did I just do?
Yeah.
How did I just do that?
Okay, so he lost a pawn. Now you can attack the knight that was annoying you. That's an option. you can protect the pawn and attack the rook at the same time, and then attack the knight that was bothering you.
Right.
I mean, you have, that's two good candidates.
My primary goal is to protect the pawn, which is why eventually, because it was almost like I think you're right as far as tilting a little bit, because it took me a while to even recognize the fact that the pawn was under attack, because I was still shocked that I lost a piece there. I was like, what happened?
Yeah, you didn't know it was there.
I had to kind of regroup and say, well, wait a second, now what's under attack?
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so I understand that. That explains why we took 13 seconds and didn't make the better move.
Yeah.
This would have been better move. All right, so I said, oh, okay, I got a free pawn. And I had to try to decide if you attacked it, what was I going to do? And I decided I was just going to back up. And I thought I could survive. Hey, King, how's it going? Hey, a little impromptu lesson on time management, at least working on improving time. Not even a lesson about it, but a way of improving time management. So that's what we're shooting for. So I decided to bring it back. Okay, so I'm supposed to be watching your time here. So you went from 340, 328. So you used 15 seconds for this move. So I find that interesting. Don't know if it should have taken you 15 seconds to find that one. And that one took you less, right? Yeah, that one took you only 2 seconds. 2 seconds. So doubling up was
what I was going to do
right.
With the time the move before.
Much better. Much better. Okay, and then we pushed the pawn, which I don't think was a good move, but it took you only 10 seconds. Again, I think you can come here and start putting pressure. Your king belongs towards the center in the endgame anyway. I think you probably should have went there, but not a big deal. But again, once you pushed, you should have already decided what you were going to do if I took. So I would expect this one to be, and it took you 7 plus 3, so it took you 10 seconds to find this move. So you went from averaging 3 to 5 seconds to now we're averaging like 10 seconds ever since you lost that pawn. And you feel like you're playing catch up, right? So I think that slowed you down. Okay. So I think that's enough for that test. I think two things we need to think about is if you find that you make a mistake or your opponent is going to win material, you have to make the decision quick. Yep, I lost material. Forget that material and think about what else I'm going to do. And then if you drop something, like at the pawn on E3, you need to still think, okay, I'm back. I'm in it still. I'm going to be aggressive, and I'm just going to keep playing. Good things will happen. Good things will happen. Got to keep the speed going, though. Can't get down to where you're doing 10 seconds per move. That's way too much on average per move. All right, and if we just watch your clock, yeah, you went, so like this one right now, you have doubled rooks, but you don't really have any place for them to go, right, at the moment. And your next move took you...
Your rook move there took away the one place I was going to go.
Yes. Well, I got to play good. But you went from 306 to 249. So
20 seconds.
Yeah, 20 seconds for this move. I would have much rather seen this move. But this was good too because it tried to keep the knight out.
Yes.
But this would have kept the knight out of here too.
And the pawn.
And it would have stopped this pawn from pushing. But yeah, I was thinking about pushing. But right now it doesn't really have anything because this pawn is hanging. So this might be a good move because it would lock that pawn in.
Why is the pawn hanging?
If I move the rook over here to attack your knight after I chase this knight.
Yeah.
So even now if I chase the knight, I don't know what you're going to do. Honestly, actually, I kind of like this. I like that a lot. So I don't want to force you into finding better squares for your knight. Not part of my master plan. You can attack it twice, but then you chase the rook first, and then your king can just come up to protect. Your king can always come up to protect. Anyway, all right. So not bad. I think that was very instructive. Let's do another one, or do you want to play a viewer?
Yeah.
You want to play me or a viewer? Okay, because I know I got viewers that would love playing. So, but let's do one more with me because I know I'm not rushing you. I'm not going to try to kill you.
Right? 5-3
That's
again?
fine. Yeah,
All right.
you mopped the floor with me and you weren't even trying. Thank you. That makes me feel better.
I wasn't not trying, but I was trying to play. I was trying to play equally fast.
Okay.
I was trying to keep in mind how I was playing. Okay, so the question is, of course, how well do you know the exchange variation? And if you don't, then you might get stuck losing time. So this is where, for stronger players, and I don't mean me, I mean stronger players that study the game and study their openings, this is where they get ahead in any kind of speed game because they should know their opening moves and they would expect to be able to get an advantage because they know those opening moves. Am I missing something? Okay, now don't
No,
tilt.
I was.
Don't tilt. Still look for good moves. You still got to find good moves and you still got to play tough. You drop something, so what? Don't tilt. Let's go. Find something. I don't know if you can right now, to be honest with you. This is not looking good.
Thanks, bro.
I love you, man. I love you. Yes, King, it will. Good luck tomorrow. Sub battle. Who's the streamer? Yeah, I don't mind advertising other streamers. Who's the streamer that you're doing a sub battle with? I need more subs before I could do a sub battle. Right now, I think our sub battle will be very small. I think it'll be Flavio, Chess Wizard, and G Dot, which isn't bad. That's a nice lineup. That's a sweet lineup, actually. I have no problem with that lineup. Okay, now I might take some extra time because I think I should have either a mate or at least some kind of complications, but I can't find it fast. But I'm just talking out loud to let you know what I'm thinking. So I'm going to go with that one. I don't know if it's best, but at least pushes you back. I know you only have one square to go to. And then I can see if I can cause more trouble. So always still, even me, being cognizant of how much time we have, because we both have limited time. It's still a 5-minute game. Oh, really? I don't even know those guys. Oh, okay. And they have enough subs to do a sub battle. I'm jealous. No, it's fine. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Okay, so I got to double check. I don't see any checks that I'm worried about, so I'll do that. Had to double check. Had to check and then double check. Ooh, guys, I need feedback. I knew there was something. Please fill out that form. Please fill out that form. I want feedback. Please give me feedback. Oh, that's no good. What does verified mean? You mean he's a... I don't know what verified means.
Okay. Take your time. That doesn't get me a checkmate. Or does it? Hey. Okay, let's go that way. I don't know what verified means. Yeah, that's a dream of all streamers, to get rated by Levy. Yeah. All right. Let's go look at that game. That was just a blunder. Blunders happen. And even when you blunder, you're just going to need to be able to come back. You know how to get to the study, right? You know how to get to the study, right? Okay, you played this correctly. This is the only move I'm not used to seeing.
Hold on, I'm not in the study yet.
Okay, I'll wait for you. I'll drink some more of my Gatorade. I got my chill music going. I need a haircut. Life is good.
Is it under my studies? Studies I contribute to?
Studies you contribute to?
I found it. Okay, go ahead.
So on this pawn push, everything we both are playing by the book. Usually you get this move in, but right now you don't have to because I didn't put the knight here. So you're playing by the book. I usually, when I play this, back up here, then to here. And then, as always, if you trade this way, you get the open rook file.
I thought about going back, but I did. I thought about going back.
So, again, not that it's the best move, but the normal move in this situation is to back up to entice another pawn push. And then if they take, you get this open file and the king side is decimated. And I've already moved this pawn, right? So we talked about knowing the opening. And King, this is for you especially. We talked about knowing the opening. Well, you can't hear the music? Yeah, I'm playing music. It's pretty soft. I like it soft. But I'll turn it up a little bit because that's softer than I was thinking it was. So thank you, Sudakus. I want to be overpowering. Tell me if that's better. Okay, so King, we were talking about the fact if you don't know an opening, well, you don't have to. You just have to know the principles and maybe used to some patterns. And so this is a familiar pattern. It should be. Again, not saying that this move is horrible that you made, but you shouldn't have to spend any time if you're going by familiar patterns. Okay, so that's all I'm saying there. Boom. And then I decided, right, because the bishop's holding it, I'm going to threaten the bishop, the pawn, and just, I was hoping you'd do something like, let me take it, and you did. So I did. Again, now, what's funny is that you could have taken with the pawn because you had wanted the open rook file before, especially because you're obviously going to castle queenside, I believe.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Sure.
And this gave me this alignment, which doesn't really give me anything right away. But you know me, I love alignment, so I'm going to take that alignment. And then I thought I'd start trying to dissuade you. Again, I don't have to think too hard. I'm trying to dissuade you from castling queenside. I want you to kingside like I did. Plus, if I get rid of that knight and that rook, but yeah, man, he has so many pieces protecting him. I'm not really going to get to him. But I was hoping to annoy you over here, maybe, storm over here. Didn't think too hard. And then you did castle queenside anyway. And I was like, all right, let's go. He's coming into my territory. And I figured you had to do this. And I didn't really have much of a plan after that, to be honest with you. I think I was thinking things like that. And even if you took, then I could take back. You can't go here anytime too quickly because you'd lose that pawn. So I could go here first and then get this pawn push in. Maybe. I was just hunting around to see what might happen. And then, of course, you just blundered the knight.
Wrong pawn.
Yeah, wrong pawn. Okay. Now, the rest is not important. But as we talked, you can't tilt. So once you drop that, you need to look hard and fast if there's a way to survive. And I think you found one that keeps the game going for a while. So there you have it. All right.
You also had rook. I thought you had rook to B2, B1.
When?
After you make the knight move.
Well, you have check. I have to do something about that first.
Yeah.
And then you checked again. I have to do something about that. Now, by the way, I thought about putting here, one, because I want to do this. So while I am waiting for you to move, even though it's only seconds,
I'm looking at this alignment that I knew was going to happen if you threw. After I had to think about it. I was like, do I move away or do I take? So if we look, let's see how long I took on that. Yeah, I took 8 seconds on that move because I was like, can I take? And I was like, the only check, he doesn't have this check, right? The only check you had was here or here. And I thought if you do either one of these two checks and I'm here, I can come back and I'm safe. You can't attack me anymore. No more checks. And so I took right away. Now after I took, let's see how long you took. Sorry, I really hate it when I do that. Boom, 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 boom. All right. So how long did it take you for that move? 3:14. That move took you a lot of time. You figured out 3:14 to 2:58.
Yeah, that's because I knew the game was over, and I was
Okay.
just trying to figure out if there's any way for me to do anything.
So I mean, I was thinking you might try that, or you might try the check first and then try to get your king up here and run away. So those would be the ideas.
That's
Good.
what I was thinking.
Good. Those would be the ideas. So while you were while you're planning that, I see this alignment, and I'm trying to figure out, can I get my bishop here? And I'm like, no, I know you're going to go to one of these. At least that's what I assumed, because otherwise you're in trouble. Not mate, but you'd lose the queen next move. And so I thought, okay, so I want the bishop to go there. Ooh, I could block with the pawn, and he doesn't have a check because I'm going for this, so that would also work to there. That was my thinking real quickly. That I was while you were thinking, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get to push this pawn. I'm gonna get to put the bishop here. That's my main plan. And if you go here, I'm still in check, so I still got to do that. And then you can't get away with your king. So I thought that was all good for me. Anyway, that was the plan. All right. So that's how I was thinking. Do you want to try playing someone else?
Sure.
All right. Guys, I need a challenger for LLNP. Flavio, your good buddy, would be a great matchup because you two have really good games. And your problem with Flavio is time most of the time. So why don't you challenge Flavio? He should. Hopefully you're following him. Flavio Salsa?
Does he want to play is the question.
We'll find out. He said okay. Yeah. King, what's his name? King, are you actually asking me what's his username? King, it's right there under his picture. It's right under his King. It's also on the top of the board up here. Come on, King. What are you asking me those questions for? All right. Is your game started or something? I don't want to miss it.
No, hang on.
Okay, good. Good. I got to go to where I'm watching you play. I haven't done that yet. Yep, and you should make it casual. You don't have to make it casual, I guess, but if you make it casual, then you can leave. I can leave my mic on, and you can hear me. If you don't make it casual, then we'll have to silence my mic, of course.
I don't know what Flavio wants to do. I'll make it casual.
Okay, and make it 5-5, 5-3 again. We're still working on 5-3. You thought this would be the best way, so 5-3. And random color's fine. He needs practice.
That's what I did.
All right. All right. You know, we're going to get you to be so good that I can't adopt you again. But I've already adopted you, so I gotta ask you, hey, who's your daddy?
Yeah, I know you too well.
Who is your daddy? All right. It's white to move. Let's go.
My daddy's Herbie. You can see the board?
I can see the board. I'm following.
All right.
And Flavio muted me. I'm going to mute me on Zoom so you can't hear me because I know you're not watching my stream. Thank you very much. All right, guys, he's playing the birds. And let's say he remembers his time. The only thing I'm going to remind you is time is your issue right now. We're looking for 5 seconds max on your moves. 5 seconds max. All right, now I'll mute myself again so he can't hear me. Oh. He's doing better on time. Let's see if he knows what he's doing. Do you, King? I like it. I like it. I'm getting used to it from streaming. It's becoming second nature. It is definitely becoming second nature because of streaming. Ooh, interesting, Flavio. Inviting the reverse of the what is this? Help me out. Reverse of the Stonewall defense. And okay. Irv says no. Says no. I don't want to do the Stonewall. I thought he might. All right, but that took him a lot of time. Got out of the pin. Now I expect this. See, this is patterns, guys. This would be a pattern that he should just know. And if he knows the pattern, he doesn't have to, look how much time he's using. He doesn't need to spend all this time thinking about a good move. No need to be thinking about a good move because he knows this pattern of getting rid of the bishop. Okay, that's what I want. Yes. Knight to A4, very common, and that's a common pattern that he needs to get used to. Same way that you guys, right? Stronger players know these patterns, and they're going to be like, yeah, I'm just going to go boom, boom, and I'm going to trade off the knight, right? I'm going to trade off the knight for the bishop. It should be like almost automatic. Okay, now he has transitioned into the Stonewall. And again, with the Stonewall, this is very much a normal pattern. This is okay too, because if the knight goes here, you're going to trade it off probably. You might want to get that going too. But and what he doesn't know yet, which I don't think he's good at yet, is this. Pawn storming on this side. Yes. And in other openings too. All right, so he has a free pawn and a split of rooks. That's just free material. He should just grab that free material. I don't know what he's hesitating. This is where, again, where he's got I'm worried that what he's doing is thinking, oh no, what do I do about this knight? This knight is, oh, what should I do about the knight? Instead of saying, I got free material, let me grab the free material. Think aggressively and be aggressive and take the free material. Now, he's up material. So what do you do when you up material? You trade off pieces. Very good. He's doing great. You can even come here and get a second piece on this pawn. He decides to try to trade off the bishop. That's okay. That's fine. I like this because it infiltrates the queen. Nah, I can't go there, but I like it because it infiltrates the queen and gives him some dynamics. So now his best move is just to admit he made a mistake. Just admit you made a mistake and come back. Why is he taking a lot of time? Because he's trying to decide if he should move the rook. But just admit you made a mistake. What are we doing? Going for a draw? What was that? I don't even know what that was. I have no clue what that was. He could just push. Take. He could have just pushed, guys. Again, patterns. I'm up material. I can break this center, get rid of my backward pawn. This would be slight hesitation. You take. Oh, don't be nervous, buddy. It's just going to be fun. You're going to have a blast. See, from here he had this move. From here he doesn't. Ugh. Frustrating for me watching him. Okay? He's my brother, so I get frustrated when I watch him. He had this. He just should have pushed. If he takes. He gets this cleared up. But instead he brings his queen out. I don't like the queen. And now he's took all that time to give him a angle at his king. I don't know why. I mean, it's risky. It's risky. So what is he going to do? What is he going to do? I don't know what he's going to do. Does he wait till he pushes and then locks it up? That would work. In which case he still doesn't know what he wants to do. He's got to find something to do. I would probably get this bishop into the game. I know it's slow, but he's got to do something. And he's getting low on time again. He's killing me. Come on, Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls. Let's move. Who knows that movie? Anybody who knows that movie? Come on. Who knows that movie? You get one master point. Yeah, definitely moved over to the Stonewall area. And why? Oh my gosh, how much time is he taking now? How much? I mean, I need an electric buzzer. I need to be able to press an electric buzzer and make him jump when he's taking that much time. Again, Bishop needs to get into the game, guys.
He's playing with too few pieces. Look at this. He's only playing with the queen and the bishop. And he's not really even playing with the bishop. His queen is doing all the work. His queen is doing way too much work. And there we go. We're going to... that's a nice move. Except, there we go. That's a logical reply. And he can't go here, can't go here, can't take here. Can't go here. This is it. This is like his only move, guys. And then what does he do when the bishop comes here? He's getting his queen trapped because he's playing only with the queen. So, just missed an opportunity. By the way, he didn't need to take this pawn way back then. He did not need to take that pawn. Did not need to take that pawn. He was fine without that pawn. By far, he was fine without that pawn. Okay, so this is giving him life. This is giving him a chance. Because that knight is not going to be doing too much against him, I don't think. He needs to find a way to make sure his queen can get to safety, even if he has to sacrifice material, because he's up material. But now he's getting low on time. The bane of his existence is he's low on time. Let's see, rook here. He gets here. If he gets here, he could go here. And then the rook can't go there. The rook could go here. Oh my gosh, he needs to get out of this mess. He needs to do something, guys. Oh, really? Really? I would have tried this move. I don't get that. I don't get that. But he has two rooks. But he's down a whole piece now. I know he's frustrated. He should be frustrated anyway. He had a winning game. This pawn was just, and he took a long time to take the pawn, which breaks all the principles. He had these pieces to still get developed. He was up material, and he grabbed the pawn. He doesn't need the pawn. The pawn is what started getting him trouble. And after he took the pawn, if he ran away right away and just came back and hid, he'd be okay. I don't know. I'm not sure he had time, but I think he did. So good game to go over. Good game to go over, but he is playing better on fast, but not as fast as he should. Yeah, right now, no, King. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I'm really trying to help him get better at time management. It's critical for him. It's his one big Achilles heel. I mean like gigantic Achilles heel. So I really want to help him, and we're trying to find logical ways to teach it. And so I'm really pushing for that. Yeah, I'm not sure. This bishop move would have been nice like an hour ago. That would have been nice an hour ago. That was his bad bishop, stuck behind all the pawns, and he never found anything to do with it. Again, he could have pawn stormed and freed the bishop. Would have been better. Let's see if he can figure something out here. Thanks, King. And this doesn't work. He just checks and pushes you back anyway. Yeah, maybe not. Again, I know he doesn't have much that he can do, but he shouldn't be burning all this time. His only chance is to win on time, really, and he's burning all this time. Okay, now we're threatening to take the pawn and say checkmate. So he pretty much has to go here. There you go. That shouldn't have taken too long. As soon as you saw that he was dead meat, he could make that move quickly. I think he did better on time. And remember, this is 5-3. So when he plays 10-3, this will feel like he had forever. Forever. He would feel like he had forever. So I think he spent his time wisely this time. He spent most of his time on the move with trying to decide about taking the pawn. So that was the right time and right place to think through all that time. Yes. All right, he found it. I don't know if it works, but it's the most dynamic, aggressive choice I think he had. And now he can possibly get the rooks doubled up. Maybe. Oh, no, you can't do the rook first. Had to do the bishop first.
All right, that's okay. Again, just admit you made a mistake. Come on back. Protect the bishop. But yeah, if you had done the bishop first and then maybe... Ooh, look at this. Counterattack. Counterattack. Yeah, counterattack. I love counterattacks. Oh, but it doesn't work. Dag. It was such a nice try. Always forget that the stupid piece could just go that way, right? I know. I know. Now he's down to 39 seconds, and he's just trying to stay alive. Again, that one shouldn't take too much time because it's under attack. He didn't have many choices. I like here, threatening mate. Could go here and threaten mate. Both of those could threaten mate. I don't know which one would be better. That one works. And there's no real way I think he could stop it. That doesn't stop it. Good job, good job. Not bad, much better at time. Remember, you're playing at 5-3. You're going to be playing with twice the amount of time, so don't let that bother you. Why don't you go ahead and do a quick rematch? And
Flavio, thank you.
yeah, you should do a quick rematch because that was actually much better, and I want to see you play another game against Flavio with the same time control. You spent a lot of time on queen takes g7. You should have spent a lot of time, and you should have decided not to do it. All right, and the quick reason why you shouldn't have done it, Flavio says, okay, one more. You could play one more with him, so if you want to challenge him, go ahead, and then we'll go over it.
Rematch invite.
Okay, I'll go follow. All right, let's see it. And then we'll go over those two games, because I think there were some clear opportunities for you to spend time differently than you did, but that was fine. And again, I think these are going to be principles and concepts that you can learn, memorize, and take advantage of, and it'll help you through these phases. White is Flavio. Oh, I'm not showing the clock. Let me show the clock. Thank you.
And put me on mute or something.
Oh yeah, mute you. There you go. Sorry. Thank you, King. So is the music too loud? Because it's loud in my ears. So I don't know if it's loud for you guys. I can't tell if it's loud, so you're going to have to tell me. Okay, we're getting a definite normal-looking Dutch here. No, just Dutch. I don't know which variation, but it's definitely the Dutch. Very normal Dutch. He should feel comfortable and not have to burn a lot of time on his moves. So, let's see if he sees the obvious. This shouldn't take him a lot of time. That should have been almost automatic, guys, tell you the truth. That should have been like, boom, I know what I'm doing. Oh, queen's out. Yep, I pushed the pawn. Protects everything. That should have been easy. Easy breezy. Okay, what do you guys think he should be doing now? He's got a lot of options like free candy. He has free candy with no reason not to take it. Good. That should not take a lot of time. You've got to be able to spot the free candy and then not waste time and just take what's offered. Take the free candy when it's offered. Very important. Very important. Nice. All right. Now he has two pieces to develop. He shouldn't be thinking about anything else. Shouldn't be looking for any other nifty ways that he might be able to win something. He should be developing those other two pieces as fast as possible. This is a great start. This is a great start. Gives him a tempo, chases the rook, and he's going to win another piece, right? Or he's going to win the exchange. So very nice, very quick, very aggressive. I like it. Oh, okay. Oh, against the Dutch. Gotcha. Yeah. I don't know all the names. Maybe someday. I'm getting old, though. If I don't know them now, I probably will never know them. I just want to teach all you young bucks to play and kick butt, and that way when I retire, I can say I helped somebody become a better chess player. Just one of you. If I could say one of you I helped to make a better chess player, All right, so he's sacrificing material. He's hoping to get this rook back. He's looking at some options. But remember, yes, very good in between move. Threatens the queen and he drops the queen. Look at that. Excellent job. Excellent job. Found all the right moves. Now, does he go pawn hunting or does he finish his development? I think he has time. Actually, this time, he has time. He could have just taken the pawn, and he still can take the pawn. But I think he learned his lesson about pawn hunting the last game, and he was a little worried about it. Now he has a double attack. Only one of them is actually not protected. The knight is the one that's not protected. So Flavio protects the knight, and now he could get another move in. Double up on the bishop, or take this pawn. I would have doubled up on the bishop because I still don't like doubled pawns. I hate double pawns enough that I'd get my knight here, threaten the bishop, and keep him from doubling my pawns. That's how much I don't like doubled pawns. They're just bad news. Double pawns are not good. This is risky. This is risky because when he moves that knight, he better take. Because if he doesn't take, he gets checked, and then he loses the rook for the bishop. But I don't think that's going to happen because white doesn't have any great places to put the knight. That, oh, by the way, the rook would have been hanging. So, okay, now he's still got to play fast. Oh, look at this, more free material. He should feel good, Flavio. He should feel good about it. You can feel good that you helped him out. Yeah, he did. You should play a rubber match just because you two are equal. That's why. Not because I want one of you to win or lose. But I think if you did it, it would. You got to resign, Flavio. He doesn't know you're giving up. I think you two are equal, so it'll be good for him. He'll learn by those games. Flavio says, good game. You got me on this one. Good job.
Thanks, Flavio. Good game.
How'd you feel about it?
I feel better.
You should feel better. Well, you could play. I don't know if Flavio's up for a rematch, but I like you two playing each other because you're pretty equal. Yeah, you could always push it to mate, Flavio. I always tell all my students never to give up, so no one would have blamed you for playing it out. No one would have blamed you. So, do you want to go over these, or do you want to challenge them to one more?
I want to go over them, but I also want to talk about because.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I'm realizing, I don't know if I'm realizing it correctly, but recognizing the opening, I'm going to say patterns, because I don't know the book opening for
Yes.
the vast majority of anything. I'm sorry. I don't know the book opening for any opening.
And
Right?
the good news is you don't need to know the openings, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So if you go to our study.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, it could have been because he could have gotten in trouble and got sloppy when he's playing fast. But he had more time. And so Flavio, excellent. You're a great partner with him. You two should be able to study together. I mean, you guys are right now on. I think you're very equal. Okay, let's go over these real quick. So if you're in the study with me, this is the first game, right? That you played with Flavio, and you played the birds. So again, if you know the birds well, you know that this is more important than this. Okay, but you don't know it that well. That's okay, but you want to look it up. This is where you go. I spent some time trying to figure out the right move here, and how much time did you actually spend? Only 4 seconds. You only spent 4 seconds. But the correct move usually is this bishop has got to get in play. All right, so that was a...
It stayed there throughout most of the game.
Right. And so the way for you to know that, guess what? You know that for 2 reasons. One is you need to develop your pieces as fast as possible. So that would be one reason to do it. The other reason is you're like, the only threat is this. You got to go? He'll be back. G-Dot! 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 Welcome, my friend. I'm glad to see you. All right. So normally this move is played because if they play here, you want to be able to do this.
But in this case, you don't have to worry about it because you could just take, and you know you get this French technique, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So he can't push the pawn. He can't push the pawn yet. And if he takes here and you take back and he pushes the pawn, you could push because the bishop holds it.
And I did briefly think about b3. And,
Good. b3 would have been the better move, but that's okay. Let's just keep going. So now he's attacking once. And you slide over, which is normal in the opening, so that you could drop back, and then your bishop can still go here. We got to get the bishop out into the game, and you spent the whole game not getting... Now, this was nice because it worked to your plan anyway. And then I think you took a lot of time coming up. No, not too long. You only spent 4 seconds, and you got yourself out of the pin, which was fine. You jumped out of the pin. And he castles queenside. Now, as soon as he castles queenside, although your pawn's a pointing kingside, you know, one of the things you could think is, well, I'm just going to do the stonewall now. I'm going to block his bishop. He'll never get to my king. The bishop will never be a problem. And then I can start getting these... Look, the queen's out here. I'm going to shove my pawns at him. Now, you're not used to pawn storming. I know you're not. That would be something for you to practice, learn, look at games where pawn storming is useful. So right here, this move I don't like. And guess why? It's not needed to push. You could just push. So you don't need to do c3 to push. What are you supposed to be doing? What is the principle?
I was thinking c3 to push to d4.
Which you didn't need to do.
I didn't need to.
Okay. And add to that, what are you supposed to do in the opening? So I'm going to show you a pattern that happens a lot. Here's an opening pattern when this bishop and queen are like this, and it could be anywhere, right? Whenever you see the bishop and queen like this, very common to put a knight here to trade off the bishop. The queen has to leave, and you trade off the bishop. Very, very common. Giving up your knight for this battery disappears. So
And you can get there by going c3.
you go to knight to c3. If he decides to do things like this, you're like, I don't care. You can either put the question to him right away and put the bishop there afterwards, or you could put the bishop here first, right? You don't. This should not scare you. And if it doesn't scare you, then depending on what he does next, and let's just say he does something, or let's say he does like this. I'm sorry, I meant like this, and he's being aggressive. Now you get that. This is a very common technique to break this up and get rid of the bishop. Very, very common. Okay, so if you knew that, you would have developed your knight, try to get rid of the bishop, but the most important reason why you'd find it is because you're supposed to be developing pieces, and you moved another pawn. And look at all these undeveloped pieces. And this one went from here to here to here to be undeveloped. So, basic principle, you don't have to know the opening. You should know, I need to develop my pieces. And right now, I'm not developing my pieces. So what can I do to develop my pieces? That should have been an easy one for you to find. So this is okay. You decided to play you went flat out, hey, I am playing the stonewall variation. So this is fine. You're on target, except again, you're missing opportunities to start pushing, but I'd rather you develop pieces anyway. So good job on you, threatening here, but also you don't mind if he takes, then your knight gets to come out and you start untangling yourself. All right. So he moves here, and this kind of fazed me because I want to know if you can remember what you were thinking. This took you 21 seconds. That took you 21 seconds. What were you thinking?
I didn't see it right away.
Okay.
I was thinking if I exchange knight for knight on e4, then he comes in with the bishop, and then what am I going to do? Maybe, and I was looking at that, and then I said, oh wait, that pawn is free, and I have a fork.
All right. So what I was saying at the time was I thought you were taking a while to think because you were like worried about what this knight was doing and deciding if you should do something about the knight, blah, blah,
I looked at
blah.
what the knight could do, and nothing scared me.
And then you started looking for offense.
And then looked at what the knight was doing there, and then I said, "Oh, I could take it." Then I saw the pawn was hanging with the fork, and then I said, "Hang on, let me double check and find out if there's anything that the knight can do that's gonna, I take. But then if he takes something and brings my queen or something, then obviously that's more dangerous."
So in general, I do want you thinking, he moved here. How does the board change? What is he attacking? What's the threat? I'd want you to do it faster because I'd almost want you to say, you know what? I'm going to check what his attack is in a second. I want to see if I have anything. Do I have a check? Do I have an attack? So if you said, I'm not looking at him first, except for the fact that his knight was maybe protecting these squares. Okay, well, and maybe even here when you move here, instead of relaxing, thinking, oh, I know this is just an opening move. He's going to take, I'm going to take back, or he's going to take and I'll take back. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Then I'll move my knight here. Maybe instead of that, you first think, well, his queen isn't over here. I'm attacking that pawn. All right, so now I got this pawn. I'm looking at the fork, and then he doesn't do anything about it. Then you immediately would be thinking, okay, am I worried? Oh, I don't have to worry? Good, I'll grab the pawn. But the other way to think of it is, let me see what attacks I have first, then let me see what attacks he has. And I'm only thinking about that as a possibility because I think you are playing very reactionary sometimes, defensively, and you're always like, oh, he's attacking, he's attacking, he's attacking. John does that. John does that big time, right? Every move his opponent makes, John is like, oh no, I don't like that piece. It's coming close. And I'm always like, but John, you have you have a great tactic. You could win materials. You have a combination. Go, go, go. And instead he's always holding back, worried about his own. Okay. All right, let's see. So what's up?
How long did I take to make this one?
How long did you take? I said you took, what did I just say? 18 seconds? 30 to 12.
Plus 3.
So, right, 21 seconds. But you found it. That's the critical part. 21 seconds, you're winning a piece. So, no, that was totally worth it. That shouldn't have taken you long. That took you 4 seconds. That took you 2 seconds, right? Yeah, that took you 2 seconds. And now, you're up material. You're up the exchange. What should you be doing when you're up the exchange? Okay, so that shouldn't have been hard. That shouldn't have been hard. And here I said during the stream, I said, okay, just admit you made a mistake. And you did, because it wasn't the best way to trade off the bishop yet. And he went back, and you went again. And I'm like, is he trying to get a draw? You know the same position 3 times as a draw. I was wondering why you went back.
Well, when you say it wasn't the best position to do the exchange, what did you mean?
Like, here you went. Okay, let's back up. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Here doesn't force the exchange. He doesn't have to take and he doesn't have to stay. He has a counter attack.
Right.
Now, you could have done this with the idea of coming here next.
I thought about it.
Good. And you could have come here next because if he goes here, you get to take him off. If he goes away, he goes away. But I'm okay with you also saying, nope, I was wrong. Let's have him go here. And then I like this to attack here and get your queen in, but this bishop still wants to play, and he became your bane of your life. So you went here. I thought you were going to come here because of the bishop, but also for this. Right? Just for not, you can't go there, but I didn't like him here. I didn't like him here. I thought you were blocking. It's not a good place for your queen. I would have.
And I waited. If you look, I took a long time to take that pawn because I
yes,
that
yes,
I would get trapped.
And you did get into trouble.
And I did.
Good. Now let's take a look. Let's take a look. You took 9 seconds to make that move. 9 seconds. Right now, give me...
The move I'm talking about that took me longer.
I understand. But right now, you have 1 piece left to develop. You're up material. Give me another 9 seconds and find me a different move. It took you 9 seconds for that move. Look now for another 9 seconds and give me a different move.
I could develop the dark square bishop.
Okay, give me another... That was like 2 seconds. Good. Give me 7 more seconds.
B4.
Okay, that's plausible. You have a better move still.
Push the pawns.
You're missing the best move.
A4 also.
You're still missing the best move.
Still missing the best move.
I think so.
You mean queen to H4?
No. No. That's the one that came first to mind to me, but it wasn't the best move. What were you just doing for the last two moves? What was all that?
What's wrong with that? How about pushing the pawn?
Yeah. You were doing all that to try to trade the bishop. Why not? You have two pieces on it.
Yeah.
You're perfect timing. And if he moves away, you can either push and just totally stymie that stuff. And now your bishop has squares it's going to get to. You got to watch out for the pawn. Or you can even take the pawn. But I like really, if he lets you, I like pushing. And if he takes, you take. And again, you're trying to trade off the bishop. And then he has a lone pawn. I mean, I think the whole game is easier. So yeah, this is the move. So this is where you needed to spend 20 some odd seconds, not after this, going after this pawn. And why would you find it? You'd find it because I want you to remember the principle that we develop our pieces and we do our queen last. You still brought out your queen early, and the only thing you were hitting was a pawn that if you take, he has the potential to open a file at your king. We never want to help him open a file at our king. You're up the exchange. This pawn is not critical. So I want you to not move your queen early, not move your queen before your pieces, and hopefully would find this. I'd even been happier with this or this than your queen move here. And I don't even like my move. I like this move the best, but I'd be happy with either one of those. Because it'll get your bishop activated, right? Because once you push that pawn, now your bishop is no longer playing babysitter. Right? You're up. You're up material. You don't need to go chasing this pawn with one piece. And you ended up playing with one piece. Look at all your moves are like with this one queen is trying to do everything. And I didn't know if, I wasn't sure if he actually could trap you yet anyway.
I know, but I knew I was wasting a lot of time trying to think about it, so.
Yeah, I thought you might try this.
I said, let me get the biggest piece of material I could find.
But I thought you might try this. I don't know if it works. You know, I was thinking like that, and then what? Or I was thinking he might try this way. Now he can't do that. He loses the rook.
Yeah, I was thinking.
I don't know how he traps you.
I was. He wore me down. I was like, all right. Let's see. Yeah, you can go there.
I think that traps you.
No, you can't take the mate.
Yeah, I think that traps you. And why? Because we got the stupid bishop.
Take the pawn.
Oh no, then he still doesn't trap you.
Take the pawn.
Oh yeah. So no, I don't think you were trapped. Yep, but you wasted all that time thinking about taking a pawn, which was a bad choice because you're still playing with only one piece, and you knew your queen might get trapped. So think about how much time you went through all that for the possibility that you could win a pawn. That one pawn, that point, wasn't worth the time it took you. Even though we're looking and you might have been able to escape, that 1 point wasn't worth the time it cost you. Okay, so if you're going to win a queen, I can see you taking all that time. Even if you're going to win a rook outright, I can say that's worth the time. But time is part of the calculations, and yeah, I don't think you could afford to do that. In fact, I'm just curious. Okay, so yeah, here, this pawn is no longer protected because the knight's in the way, so it's just curious how he gets to you. And we just went through some, I don't know, right? It looks like you could still escape. And as long as you could still escape, you could have just kept moving around. And because, it's easier for you because you only have so many squares you could go to if he does this, before you get caught. So it's not like you had a lot of places to go. Anyway, all right. And then you did much better the second game, time management-wise. You seem to feel more comfortable. You played the opening, by the way. I don't like the Leningrad, is it? I'm not crazy about that variation. But you knew what to do here. Now this one, This one did not take you a lot of time, but it took you 7 seconds.
Yeah, because I was initially, the first thing I was going to do was bishop to e6, and then I said, whoa, wait a second, I drop a pawn and my rook, or just drop the pawn. So
You dropped the pawn,
I said, no,
and
can't
probably
do that.
this
Then
pawn.
I said, why not just connect the pawn chain? So that's why I did it.
Okay, so that again is right. This is common, expected in any opening to build a pawn chain.
Right.
Yeah. So I didn't think you should take any time for that. I don't know. You saw that one pretty quickly, which is good. You should be always looking for free candy.
I don't think I saw it quick. Go back.
But you should always be looking for free candy. 9 seconds, 12 seconds, 12 seconds. All right. But at least you're looking around to see now what. So can you remember what you were thinking first?
My first thing was I needed to get the knight developed, and I was thinking about the sequence. Bishop first, because the queen is still holding
Okay.
the queen is still holding the pawn.
So the good news is you're thinking about development. That's the good news. We're happy.
Yeah.
But if we do what Levi Rosman says, right, the guy from New York, Gotham chess, kind of fits with my motif right now. He says you look for checks, attacks, or checks, captures. So the pawn will be a capture, attacks, and threats. Now, you don't have to look for.
I'm exactly the opposite. I do. I work in exactly the opposite.
Yes, because you're defensive. You're looking for the threats of your opponent. Then you're looking for possible attacks, and then you're looking, do I have any captures out there? Then you might look at a check. Yeah, it sounds like you're going in the opposite direction.
Right. I'm a Knicks fan, so defense first.
Yeah. Okay. So we Patrick Ewing is not on your chess team. So what we want to do.
Go ahead.
So what we might want to do instead is we don't have to look for development moves. We know we need to develop. So while we're looking, before we look to see how I'm going to develop, do a quick check for a check. So you do have one check here. Just terrible, right? Because you lose the queen.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after looking for checks, look for captures. In other words, you know my term for it, look for free candy.
Yep.
And if you looked for the free candy first, you wouldn't have spent 12 seconds. You would have said, oh, that's free. Can I do it? I'm going to be slower in development, but yeah, it's pretty nice. And so you take the free candy always. And then after you took the free candy,
I'm writing it down. Checks, captures,
attacks, threats.
attacks. Okay.
And really, I'll to be fair, the number one thing is just look for checks, because a lot of times they lead to good combinations, especially at the beginning level. So look for checks. And then the other one is look for free candy. Those are the two most important ones. Captures, free candy. Look for captures. So you found the capture, you found the free candy, and then you found a beautiful way to develop your bishop now that the pawn can't be pushed. And that's just trouble, right? Because now he's going to lose the knight. Or if you put the bishop here, he loses the bishop. So you're looking really good right now.
The way I saw, if you go back a second, the way I actually noticed the free candy.
Wait.
Go back one more move. Was because I said I want to develop the bishop, and then I said, where am I going to develop it to? I thought, yes, G4, attacking the rook, but then I said, oh, the pawn pushes, which would stop it. And then I said, I can exchange pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. I said, nah, but then it opens a file against my king. And then I said, wait a second, that pawn is unprotected.
Right. So here again, remember I told you that I would like it maybe if you're thinking checks, captures, attacks first, but I normally think, how does the board change when my opponent moved? So because he castled, I'm looking and saying, okay, this rook is here. Okay, that's still no problem. I know he's always had this, because I can't take back with the pawn, but I can take back with the queen. So, okay, no big deal there. So what else changed? His king was here, and now his king is here. So his king is open, I can check, but also his king was here, is protecting that. Oh, that's how I would have found it. I would have been like, oh, the king moved.
he's no longer protecting the pawn. That's free candy.
I
Now-
found it. I'm going to say I found it by accident.
Yeah,
This-
that's
I
fine.
was looking for a way to develop the bishop.
Right, that's fine, but you got to look for it. You do have to look for it. And right here, I was thinking things like, oh, if I can get the queen here or here, I can attack that pawn. Right, that's what I was looking. I was looking at. He's got the open file.
Yeah, but doing that, you drop the pawn to the.
Yeah, not if you go here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right. This is not good because he just takes the pawn. But yeah, you go here, and if he takes the pawn, you're like, thank you for the piece. But anyway, I mean, my thought process was I wanted to do this, was part of the plan. But yeah, you have to do this first. You might have to do other stuff, but that's part of my plan. So I was looking at that as a weak spot.
I wasn't thinking attack. I wasn't thinking. I was backwards on my thinking. I think that's part of it for me.
I agree. You're
change the sequence of what I look for.
yes. You look. You're too defensive in nature by always looking to see what's coming at you. So here you get the free candy, then you get a nice attack, and you figure. And I was like, okay, Flavio's putting it to you. Well, you know what are you going to do? By the way, you could have done pretty much anything because you could have taken with check.
Yes.
It would have been check. He could have blocked with the bishop, and you could have backed right back up and said, okay, I just got a piece for a pawn. Okay, you could have just gotten a piece for the pawn. But even better is, let me take the rook first because I'm threatening the queen. So Flavio should have taken here, and then you get the check. He could still chase you away, but again, and now you don't even have to worry about the pawn. It's not even under attack. Oh, you could just take that pawn.
Yeah.
Right? You do got to be a little careful. I mean, he can do things like this, and then he has you checked on the back rank, but not checkmate. It's just checked. So anyway, but I mean, you have a lot of options. Whoa! Wonder Woman! I got a cheer! Awesome! Thank you. I've never seen that one. That's a brand new one. Yes, Wonder Woman is for cheers. Okay, I'm going to be begging for bit. I'm going to be doing bits to myself. Wonder Woman is one of my favorites. Hey, John. Yes, John, I am saying that Irving needs to think attack and then defense for Irv specifically. Now, to everyone, I try to think of how does the board change. So that isn't, and that isn't specifically defensive. Okay, so it's not defensive. It's how did the board change. So even back here, queen here, if I'm thinking defensive, I'm thinking, oh, you're attacking the pawn, I got to defend this pawn is undefended, and I got to be careful because if he takes here, I can't take here, Okay, so that's defensive because I'm worried is the way I want you to think about it. I don't want you to worry about this. I want you to think about how the board changed, and that's how the board changed. Otherwise, the board didn't change. If I had two pieces attacking here, when he moved here, I'd be like, how the board changed. Okay, he's attacking here and here. This one's protected, this one's not, and I get my take. I would be taking here with like minimal hesitation, right? Because the board didn't change in a way.
After the castle.
I'm saying right now, if my queen were here.
Oh, there, yeah.
If my queen were there. So my point is that it's a nuance. So rather than, I want you to think about how the board changed and what's under attack and what's in danger, but how the board changed. So Murph especially, if you remember back when you would be playing like Grantley or something, and Grantley would plop a knight here, and that knight was attacking absolutely nothing, right? That knight did nothing to you, and you told me that you traded off that knight even though it ruined your pawns because it bothered you. That's what I don't want. Okay, Flavio, I don't want you playing it because it bothered you, right? It shouldn't be because it bothered you. Instead, you should be thinking, okay, how did it change? It didn't attack anything, so I don't care. This one did attack the pawn, so he protects the pawn. How'd the game change again? I'm not looking, I'm not worried, he's not attacking me. I'm just looking, how did the board change? He stopped protecting the pawn, and his king is actually a little bit exposed because he's no pawn here. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know you didn't like it there. I know. So this is very good. He's being very dynamic and attacking. And if we look at it from Flavio's point of view, and let's actually look at it from his point of view, at this point, Flavio's just feeling a little cramped. That rook has no place to go. That rook is not threatening anything. He's really not. But now the problem is he has to say, how did the board change? I lost a pawn, and that pawn cannot block this bishop attacking my rook. That's how the board changed. So a good move for Flavio might be that. Because now I played a prophylactic move, keeping the bishop from hitting my rook. And guess what? I would never find that if I'm focused on, oh no, the rook is in my territory, the rook is attacking. What do I do? What do I do about this rook? What do I do about the rook? What do I do about the rook? Forget the rook. Forget the rook. It's not attacking anything that's not protected. So now I got to think, what else changed? Well, my pawn is gone. And maybe you remembered, maybe you thought about the pawn going here at some point. Or maybe even going here. But now I don't have that pawn anymore. So I have to see this. And that's going to attack my rook. And watch this. Let's say I don't do this move. Let's say I do some other bad move. This move, now I can move the rook because guess what? The king is still holding the knight because I did not overreact. So that's the point there. But if Flavio saw this was what the threat is, then he would push the pawn to do prophylaxis and keep his opponent out. But instead, he kind of felt like, I don't know, I'm guessing. Flavio could tell us. But it's kind of like, yeah, this rook is in my territory. I don't like him here. I'm gonna get my king out of the way and start getting my king. It's not 3 pawns anyway, but I'm gonna get my king out of the way. But really, look how long it's gonna take him to get a rook on this file, forever. So that was a problem though, because now he's under attack, he's protecting him. This removes the defender. And he can't do this to block because he just loses it. So he removes the defender, and Flavio does find a good try. Better might be to actually trade this for, like, say, the bishop, because then you only down the exchange, right? Unfortunately, this bishop still has absolutely no squares, because we would like to take back with the rook, but we're probably going to have to end up taking back with the queen and then moving our bishop out slowly. So down the exchange might have been better. So this is a nice move by Irving, because what should happen is this, and then this gets taken, and we get into that situation we just showed you. But you're still down you're down material, right? You're going to be down. Were you down even? I don't remember. Was it going to be down material? If he had taken. Oh, and by the way, you could have taken with the pawn, right? You did not have to take with the queen. But if you took with the queen, yeah. So he's actually, yeah, he's down a whole rook. Okay, he's down a whole rook. But obviously, a whole rook is better than a queen. Right? That's all I can say. The rook is better than the queen. And Flavio just missed that, and then the rest should be mop up. Right? Should be mop up. Was there anything here you missed? I was just not because... Oh, I wasn't really liking this. I didn't understand this move on your part, Irv.
I wanted to get the knight moving towards the king, and I wanted to get the rook freed. So I thought that...
Yeah.
The rook... I was up, so I wasn't worried about it.
You were up. You were up. I have such...
If he took it, I would have opened up the file sooner against the king.
Yes, but it's double pawn. But yeah, I just hate double pawns so much that even now I was like, oh, please go here and attack the bishop and don't let him double your pawns and get your knight activated. And, I was like, that's all I kept thinking. But that's my thought process. I don't like double pawns so much that I didn't want you to, because this pawn would become weak and there was no reason, right? But anyway, what you did was fine. And then this pins the knight, and the knight can't move anywhere and protect the rook. And we've seen this many times now, where we think we're not thinking like, oh, if he takes with the rook, he can't take with the rook because I'll take his queen, but we forget the queen can just take it. And I think you did, right? Yeah. And yeah. So good game. Good game. Hey, Chess Qua? Hello. Glad you could join us. All right. Bits, though. Wonder Woman. We know that a subscriber was Batman. So we still got to find out what you get for a new follower. And for... what else are we missing? I think that's... No, there's got to be something else. Well, we did a cheer. And that was Wonder Woman. I was excited because I thought it was something else. I love Wonder Woman, so I was really glad to see Wonder Woman pop up. I'm liking the Justice League alert themes. I'm liking it. I might have to start doing more stuff around here with Justice League or superheroes. So what do you think? Does that help?
I think it does. I think it, just from a time management perspective, clearly there were inflection points where I took a lot of time and still made the wrong move, which of course is painful to look at after the fact. But I think that playing faster games will help me when I play games that are slower, right? So
yes,
playing 5 minutes will help me when I play 10 minutes. So
yes.
I think that definitely will be the case.
If you play at the same rhythm you're doing with 5, then when you need to do a long think, you can do a long think like you did, and you'll still have time. So yeah, you'll do much better on time, but you have to keep the rhythm going. You don't let yourself get bogged down. Don't tilt if you lose material. Don't tilt if you miss something obvious. You missed it, you see him move away, and you're like, oh man, I had his queen, it was hanging. Okay, good. Get to work, right? Forget about it. You got to stay focused on what's coming next in the game.
The other thing I'm going to take away from this is the checks, captures, attacks, threats.
Yes, checks, free candy.
I'm usually the other way around. I'm usually threats, and what am I going to do about it? That's always like my gut reaction is, oh, I'm under attack. What do I do next?
Yes, and you might be missing counterattacks. And you do. I will give you this. I've seen you find the counterattacks. Some beautiful times you found the counterattacks. In fact, the games you like to show me the most are usually where you found a counterattack and you won the game because of it. Yeah. But you should be looking for those first.
The reason I'm finding the counterattack is because I'm under attack.
And you're deciding that I'm about to die, so I'm desperate. I'd rather you find the counterattacks because
Murph likes to say I'm most dangerous when I'm under attack.
Yes. You're like a cornered viper. Watch out. Yeah, I would like it if you instead were being aggressive and thinking, what do I have? I'm always looking for what I have, and sometimes to my detriment, because I'll be like, oh, I'm in big trouble. I didn't realize I was in big trouble. And then I got to look for a tactic to maybe get out of it. But that's because my first thought is always aggression. And so one of my books, and it's not a chess book, but I'm going to talk about it when I do my review of my chess library, is On War, right, by Clausewitz. And I have a book in the works that I've never finished, which I should someday. And offensive is being aggressive, taking the initiative, staying on the initiative, is a principle of war. It's not actually on war, it's principles of war. And that is such a powerful principle of war. Right, the 9 they're all powerful, but that is so critical. And so I want you to be offensive-minded, always offensive-minded. And you love football, so just think of being off. I know defenses win championships, they say.
Yeah, but the chicks dig the long ball.
There you go. You gotta be offensive. You gotta be scoring the touchdowns. King, I don't know. I'm hoping he plays one more game against somebody. Just because I want to make sure that...
I did have an invitation from DS Gear 2010, but it's a 10-5 casual.
Well, challenge him back. Make it 5-3. And DS Gear is David from your class.
Yes. No, I know that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you knew who it was. He's challenging me too, so I'm going to cancel. I'm going to tell him no for me. Yes, he said he challenged you, and so you could tell him yes.
Okay, I challenged him to 5-3 casual.
All right, good. One more game, I think will cement it, make me feel more like you're getting the hang of it. Because I want to see you moving faster. King, you could have, yeah. You're probably too strong for him right now, but no, definitely not you, Victor.
Game has started, just so you know.
I can see it. All right, let me mute.
Okay.
Let me mute.
Mute me.
All right, no, I muted me. You could keep talking. I mute me. You could keep talking so we can hear your thoughts if you want. But,
Oh, okay.
but you should be playing fast, so you might not be able to talk and play.
All right. I'll keep that in mind.
Now, I did tell him, let's see if he remembers. I told him about this move. Oh, I love a person who remembers what you tell them. I love it. It makes me feel so good when you teach anybody anything and they use it right away. I really do love that. That makes my day. This has been a long lesson, guys. I think I've been on for almost 2 hours, and this was totally impromptu, not expected, not planned. Wasn't going to do this tonight. I don't usually do Tuesday nights. Let's see. I didn't want to say anything, but he gave away free candy. He just missed it. Now, can't tilt. He gave away free candy, so what? Just keep playing, guy. Come on. You got to just keep playing. Do what you're supposed to do. Don't let the free candy tilt. Come on, don't tilt. You're wasting a lot of time on what isn't a hard move, whatever he decides to do. Right? He's got to find something to do. He's got to deal with the fact that the bishop... Okay, so he lost a pawn. That took a long time. Too long. And yeah, now we're going to start going back and forth again. Unless he decides to do it differently this time. But he should have just developed the knight. Why undevelop the bishop to push the bishop? That was really a weird move. I didn't like that move at all. I did not like this move. I don't get this move at all. And now we're getting crushed. We're getting in trouble. And he didn't have to have any of this happen. He should have just developed the knight. So I don't understand. I think he tilted. As soon as he lost the pawn, I think he lost his rhythm. He lost what he was doing. Oh, really? Okay, king. And now he's tilting it. He's thinking this over way too long. Overthinking this. You're going to lose the exchange. So what? Play on. Lose the exchange. Get the queen over here. You still got the bishop hitting over here. He's got opportunities for later. Just develop your pieces. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Come on. He's tilting. He has spent way too much time on that move. Way too much time on that move. Take with the bishop? No? Okay. I thought he might want to take with the bishop for possible threats here. At least now he's starting to play a little faster, but think about that, guys. He lost a whole minute on tilting once he dropped that pawn. Tilted after he dropped the pawn. He was only down a pawn. One pawn. You're going to catch the pawn back. You're going to get the pawn back. Just develop the knight and you would have been fine, but instead he started doing this undeveloping, moving back and forth, and just not good choices, guys. Okay, bishop is still holding it, so that's not really under attack. He could develop the bishop here. Protects the pawn anyway. Kind of solid. And okay. I don't have a problem with getting out of check. Took him about 20 seconds, though, I think. I mean, the threats are these kind of things, like that. So you take. Because if he takes with the rook, you get the exchange, right? And then the knight holds and blocks. So, yeah, that's a lot of things to see, but it's not too hard to see. So you just take. You just take. What again? No clue what's taking him this long. That's not a good move. But he's developing a piece. He did develop a piece, but he gave away a pawn when he didn't need to. And now he's going to get checkmated on the back rank. Yeah, if he had just taken, the pawn would have had to take back, and then we're good to go. Okay, so his opponent missed the checkmate. He had checkmate. Now, what is he taking time now for? Come on. How long did that move take him? That should not have taken him more than 2 seconds. He only has one legal move.
Not one of the greatest moves. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's doing for him, but so again, he just has to find a safe square for the knight, and why not here attacking the bishop? Looks like a plan. Why not here attack the bishop? I don't understand. Don't understand the hesitation. I do not understand this hesitation. He's under attack by a pawn. What else does he have? I guess that's playable. I would have wanted to attack the bishop and then get my bishop out, and then you'd be good to go. Could go here, attack the pawn. Yes, there you go. Start being a little bit more aggressive at least. Now you can take with check. Take the check, it's an in-between move. See where he goes. If he comes out, you can check again. Okay, hid in the corner. So now you got to save your bishop. You only have one way. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what that was either. Don't know what that was. Don't know what that was. Maybe you forgot this one existed. And you could have went here. So now you could just back up. Very good. Can't go here. Bishop does a lot. Nice job. Bishop is doing a nice job. Could take here. He's got to look to take here. He's got to be looking for moves. At least he's getting a lot of games in. All right. Get some material. Now he's threatening. I don't know if David can hear me, so I don't know if I should be saying stuff. Nah. I don't think he is. Actually, I'm pretty sure he's not because he's always just watching me online. Okay, so he's back in the game. He's back in the game. He's down the exchange. Only down the exchange and 2 pawns. But that's what happens. People make mistakes. Your opponents will make mistakes. They give material back. And you just have to be willing and ready to take advantage when they do. Now look how much time David's spending. It's the same kind of thing. David's getting a little bit tilted because he made a bad move. Doesn't want to let the pawn run on him though. That could be bad. That could be very bad if that pawn gets running too far. But if you go here, he could go here. Okay, I like that. That's a little different, but it doesn't stop the pawn. So I don't know if it's really a good move. I think it's backward. I think he missed the point that he needed something to attack the pawn. Just feels strange, like he went the wrong way. This would have been a tricky move. That would have been a tricky move. Move that pawn. Because if David focuses on the pawn instead of on the bishop, he would have lost another piece. That's setting up your opponent for making mistakes, by the way. And now he gets to go here. And now you can do this, but it's too late. He's going to get a queen. He's still going to get a queen. Oops. All right.
Good game, David. Took me to school.
Yeah, he did. He did. You missed some obvious stuff early and free candy. But did you feel what I felt, that you tilted when you dropped the pawn? Early, you dropped the pawn on c2 and you tilted.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let's go to the analysis real quick and I'll show you. I'll bet money that you tilted.
And it's funny because normally you tilt after losing a game, then you start losing more games. But I think you tilt when you lose material. So you with me yet on the study?
Hang on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Right? So you get here. All this is fine except this was just an error. Because you forgot this is attacking. So now you can't push it because this would be hanging. But you can, depending on how your opponent plays it against you, you got to be flexible. And so I think right now you should just be playing the Stonewall variation and make this bishop go somewhere. Because then you have this move if you want. You have this move to trade the bishop. You're good to go. I think you have to play the Stonewall because you can't let this pawn drop. And you have to know that this is hitting this pawn. You just missed it, which this game maybe will make it where you never miss that again. You can even do weird stuff like do a Murph move because the bishop's already out. And if he takes, you just double up and then start pushing in the center. So you can even do the Murph move, but you can't do what you did.
I actually saw this looking at the birds and I was studying the opening, and in one of the games they actually did that.
Yeah, because your bishop's over here. It's okay. It's okay. It's an exception to the rule. So you can't do this, but I think right after he took, you spent 22 seconds on this move.
Well, I was trying to figure out what I was like. A, what happened? B, what the heck am I going to do next?
So what are you supposed to do?
Am I dropping anything else? Is that knight okay? Yeah, the knight's okay.
Okay, so
Don't have to worry about it.
yeah, but what are you supposed to do at this point in the game? Develop, develop, develop. This would have solved all your problems. It would have been a fine move. I don't understand. This was a fine. There's nothing wrong with moving the knight. And then you can even try maybe later to play this and trap the bishop.
Yeah.
But who cares? If he just goes away right, who cares? You dropped a pawn. Develop. He moved that bishop. So think of it this way. When you drop a pawn, especially just a pawn, when you drop a pawn, he moved the piece twice to get the pawn. So immediately say to yourself, oh, I missed the pawn. Gambit time. I just gambited away that pawn. He had to move his bishop twice. I'm going to get ahead in development. Right? I'm going to try to get ahead in development. Catch up, get ahead, whatever way you want to say it. That would have just, this was just, basic. Develop. You have one piece left to develop besides the queen, and you undeveloped the bishop. And when you do, he has a logical place to go.
Yeah. And then because of what happened the last game, I decided to push the rook.
And he has a logical place to go. So now here, I'm like, still develop the daggone piece. Why? Because you have this discovered attack later, maybe. You have chances. You have chances. Right? So you only go down the exchange. But instead, you go and trade more pieces when you're about to be down the exchange. You don't trade when you're behind, and you just offered to trade when you were behind.
Yeah, and I forgot I took with the piece I didn't need to take with there.
Yeah, you meant to take with the bishop?
Yes.
Yeah.
I meant to take with the bishop.
That would have been better. That would have been better, and I was surprised you took with the pawn. And then here, I'm wondering what you're doing too, because I'm like, well, okay, not here. This was okay, you got out of the pin, but you're, back rank mate, you still got two pieces in between your rook. Back rank mate is very dangerous right now. Right now. You could be back rank mated in a heartbeat. So, you can't put the knight here because it blocks your pawn. But you could bring your bishop out here so that if this gets traded off, you don't have to worry about the rook hitting your queen. So that's one option. You can even do crazy stuff if you wanted to. That might still be more dynamic and aggressive, right? Because now the queen, if you did this, the queen has to do something. The queen has to do something. You could go here, but you could feel good that at least you made the queen do something, right? You're not just sitting back waiting for him to come and kill you. You're trying to be aggressive. Anyway, but this move,
and you took 22 seconds.
Sleep at the wheel.
Okay, because I'm like, why don't you do that?
Yeah, go sleep at the wheel.
If he takes with the rook, you take with the bishop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you do see that the queen would take, you could trade.
Yeah.
Okay. And if he takes with the pawn, you're like, okay, good. I'm a little, now I can develop. Yeah, that one I didn't understand. I mean, and what?
Asleep at the wheel.
Okay, so Rosman, we gave you check, captures, right? Check, free candy, attack, and threats. Free candy, free candy, free candy, always looking for. Now, when you are directly attacked, I teach that there's 5 ways you can get out of it. And I tell you that 90% of the time, the best answer is to take the piece. Only 10% of the time is it better to attack a piece of greater or equal value. And when it's the right move, when that 10% is the right move, it's usually devastating. I mean, you're like, it could turn the game where you're winning. So 90% of the time, the answer is take the piece. So if you want, you have your litany of checks and attacks and captures, add to it when attacked. Taking the piece is 90% the right. This would have just take the piece. I mean, I would have taken a few seconds.
I just totally ignored that move.
Okay. Yeah.
Totally ignored it.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why.
And I saw that obviously if he takes, then my queen. As soon as I made my move, I'm like, what am I doing?
Okay.
So, yeah. Those are good.
Okay. At least we know why. And then this is checkmate. David missed it. That's checkmate.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't even need the bishop protecting it, but it's checkmate. And he missed it. He takes your king, he takes your queen and gives you a way to get out. He lets you get out. David gave it back to you. He had checkmate. And yeah. So this I didn't mind. You do undouble his pawns, but he's going to undouble them anyway. That's the nature of attacking both of those 2 pieces. So you took, now, why not just attack the bishop?
I thought about that. I just, again, knights on the side of the board, I thought, not good.
Okay. So you remember, we do this also with the queen and the bishop. This is a common tactic for you to get used to. So here you could take, and you might take this way, but now you get a pawn. Yeah. And you're still going to free your bishop next move, hopefully. Yeah. So you're in this. You're down the exchange, but you're in it. But yeah, we didn't go there. We went here.
Then I just got sloppy after that.
I like this. I like that. But now, like, what do you do with your bishop? Right?
Yeah, sloppy. Yeah.
I think you have to do that, but you didn't, and you just dropped it.
Away. As soon as I moved it, I realized that.
So that's what why I'm saying that I think you tilted is because when he took your pawn, you took a long time to make what I think you would agree is not a good move. Undeveloping your bishop, hoping that he trades, is not a good move. Even if he took, it wasn't a good move. Yeah. So simple though. I dropped a pawn. I gambited. Okay, let me keep developing because I need to develop faster if I'm going to punish him or get an advantage out of my gambit. Make sense? I hope so. He left. All right, let me see. Now I think, unless King, you want to play a quick game. You've been so patient. I wouldn't mind playing your game if you want.
I'm done for the evening, but thank you very much.
I figured you would be. I was looking to see who I was going to raid. King might want to play a game with me. I didn't know if he wanted to. Or David might. Oh, you're going? Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right. I will see you later, my brother. Thank you. Have a good one.
Good night, Batman.
Hey, that's me. I'm Batman. All right, so we can go to the lecture screen, and I can kill this. And let's see if I can get my webcam back on now. There we go. So I go into my lecture screen. Oh, you want to play, King? I'll play you a game.
Why don't you give me a challenge, King, and we'll play a quick game. Ah, David wants to get into that puzzle, so let me invite him to that puzzle because he got to playing it. Oh, don't mean to do that. I meant to add a member. And I don't remember what his thingy is. He changed it on me. I don't even know if I friended him yet. Yeah, I must have. DS Gear 2010. Okay, DS Gear 2010. Okay, there we go. Invited him to the study. And I'm also going to invite Flavio because he was nice enough to help out. So he should also have access to the study. Okay. All right. Let's see. 3-0, Chris? King, you want to play 3? I hate O's. Okay, King, I'm going to be lousy at this. I hate 3 O's. I hate anything O. I always like plus. I don't like playing with O's. O's are horrible for me. O's are horrible for me. I don't like O's. I'm just telling you right now. I can't stand playing O. So you're not making my day. I don't like O's. I'm no good at O's. I always need an increment, especially if I'm streaming. I mean, but we're just gonna play it because you want to. I don't care. I don't care right now. Let's go here. Oh, that's going to be interesting. Oh, I should have taken that pawn, shouldn't I? See, that's why I can't stand O. Gosh, I cannot stand O. I don't like O. I don't like O. Okay, I don't like O. Look how much time I just spent. I don't like O. I like to think too much. And O is not conducive to thinking. Don't like O's. At least now he's thinking. Okay, we can get him to think. That's always nice. When we can get our opponent thinking, then we can feel a little bit better about the fact that we're thinking. I like it when he's thinking. Do I want the bishop? Do I want the... See, I'm thinking too long, though. I probably shouldn't be thinking. Don't want to take, don't want to go there, don't want to go there, don't want to go there. Gosh, I don't want to go anywhere. Okay, we're going to go here. We're going to go there. And that's fine. We don't care. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go there. Because we're playing 3-0, which we don't like playing. Which we've said many times now. We don't like 3-0. We don't like O's at all. What do I want to do? I have no idea. So we keep moving. We move. Yes, we keep moving. Okay, we're going to keep moving. I'm going to keep moving because we don't like 3-0. Oh, you can't see the clocks. Yes. So I could take the time to try to find the clock on this stupid thing. Here, let's bounce over. No, I can't. Okay, you can't see the clock. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, I can't pause the game. Man, I want to show you the clock. I'm sorry. And it's not going to have the clock here either. Yeah, here's the clock. How's that? Now you won't see me, but you'll see the clock. Is that good enough? Hope so. Because I just spent like a lot of time to show you the clock instead of playing. That was not good on me. But now you see the clock. You just don't see me. I don't care. I'm not that pretty. I'm definitely not that pretty. I don't know what that's about. Let's go here. Oh, that was stupid. That was just stupid. I hate stupid. I really do hate stupid, by the way. I hate stupid. Okay, we're going to trade because we're down anyway, and we're going to need to find ways to come back. We need to find ways to come back. Okay, do we take it? I'm going to say no. Okay, we get to keep pushing? Yes, we get to keep pushing. Bells are ringing for me and my gal. I have to get that phone later, guys. I can't get it right now. Down to 58 seconds in a 3-0 game. Why I can't stand 3-0. Ah, home. Hey there, can I call you back in a minute? Okay, bye. Hate 3-0. Gosh, I hate 3-0. Give me that pawn. Give me that pawn, king. Give me that pawn, king. Now you can't win. Only I can win. You can draw, but you can't win. You cannot win. You cannot win. Ah, whew! I did it at 3-0. Can't stand 3-0. Oh, man. All right, guys. I've got to go. My wife just called. Time for me to call her back. I have to add. Let me add the clock real quick, though, because that would be something worth adding to the other screen. So I'm going to try this. If I copy it, I think I can, first I can hide it here because I'm not using it. Then I can go back to my lecture screen, and I think I can do a paste. It wants to paste a reference. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. It could be the reference, and that can go right there. Thank you, King. You helped me get the clock in this picture, which I don't usually use because I'm usually doing lecture time in here, but this works very nicely for the future. Oops. Oh. Oops, go away. There we go. That looks pretty good. And then I could just hide the clock when I don't want to use it and show it when I do. That works out pretty nice. Yeah, that works out pretty nice. All right, thank you. You helped me out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you, Flavio. Hey, you like the new layout? Thank you. I'm working on it. This is all inside of, so I got my preview screen, which the chat goes on there, and but I don't have a clock yet. I had a timer for 2 minutes. I've got to get a timer. I got the lecture screen. I got my advertisement for my game I created. It's a card game based on chess-based card game. I have my one-on-one lesson where I can have my camera here and my lessons, the person I'm giving a lesson to there, and the chat is in there. I don't know why the chat is showing as blank right now. That's interesting because, oh, the chat's showing blank here too. Okay, I didn't break it, but I think maybe it does something funky with it, I think. I don't know. And I don't know what's going on here either. This was the clock. It was working fine, so I'm not going to mess with it. All right, so if I close out, let's see. Yep, I can hide the clock. All right, guys. Oh, the results of a poll on which side of the screen, because I can't see it. I mean, that must be an old poll. I don't see the poll. So you'll have to show me which screen. Was it a specific screen or what? Because I don't see it. Okay, meantime, let me know. Let me know, liking. Let me know what's going on with that. And let's see who we're going to... So Keely is just chatting. I usually don't hit her up when she's chatting. TK is a pretty good player. Nice guy. None of my other ones are doing it, but I like TK. And he visits us. Let's go visit him. We'll go ahead and hit up TK. Don't know what the name means, but like I said, cool guy, nice guy, no worries. We'll raid him. We will see you guys Friday, unless I do another impromptu tomorrow, but otherwise, I'll see you guys Friday. Have a good night. Take it easy.